Hey everybody, what's going on? We are going to talk about Sand Devil today. Yes, it is another Godseeker Sand Devil video. But I wanted to talk about it because I've been dabbling with it in my old main account. As if you've been watching my videos lately, you've heard me talk about the fact that I'm kind of getting this account rolling again. And one of the things I was interested in solving for the account was Sand Devil. And then the tournament, I think it's a tournament, right? Rolled around for the Prism Summon. So I was a little bit more motivated to do it and so I could get my Prism summon and then jump in here and have my heart broken by pulling another Mordecai. So anyway, I thought we would take a look at it because I think there's still some people under the impression that this is like a Godseeker and Ninja thing, and that if you don't have Godseeker and Ninja, or that maybe if you don't have Drang or Newt or whoever it may be, maybe you're out of luck. And I want to make sure that people know that this is a Godseeker thing. So if you've got Godseeker, it's sorted for you. The partner simply is an opportunity to speed the run up. But Godseeker will do it alone if you can hit the build. And the build is kind of tough, but it's not completely unreachable. If you're at a point where you're ready to start pushing Sand Devil, you're probably at a point where you've been farming Fire Knight for a little bit, and you might have some regen. So we're going to talk about the Godseeker build, first of all, and then we're going to talk about how to find her a partner that can help you speed this up if for some reason you don't have Ninja or any of the popular champs that get used for this. I want to show you how easy it is to find someone to slot in to speed this run up a little bit for you. And then I'm also going to talk to you about how to make this work if you're before stage 19, because this build works on auto from stage 19 on all the way through 25. But if you're not up to stage 19 and you're trying to run it on auto, it's not going to work. So you might be like, well, this is cool for when I get there, but I can't get there yet. So I'm going to show you how to take over and do it manually to get yourself up to stage 19. And then you're pretty much off to the races again, as long as the build is squared away. So my Godseeker, she is +3, which does alleviate the pressure of the stats needed to be hit in this build. However, it is not mandatory. I did do this with her. I only empowered her today, I've been doing this for several days now. So I just realized that I had copies of her, and I was like, oh, I can empower her, which meant I had to rearrange her build a little bit because one of the particular things about her is the speed. You want to have her at 209 speed, all right? That's what's going to keep her in the rhythm once you get to stage 19 and beyond, so that the run can work. The run is very reliant on staying in a particular rhythm, and if it gets knocked out of that rhythm, it's going to fail. So, as far as the build is concerned, she does need to be in regen. It does not have to be crazy regen, right? I've got a double HP roll there, a double HP roll there, a little bit of speed on those defense gloves, and a single HP roll. We did hit some HP when we ascended, but like, again, a lot of this stuff I did post having it solved, which I kind of wish I had not. I wish I had known I was going to decide to make a video about this prior so that you could have seen it in its like closer to like base form. But we were doing it before all of this stuff. This is just making it easier for us to do 25 because I really just want to farm 25. I don't want to farm 24. I want to farm 25. And I'm trying to get that to a reliable place, which is why I'm making all these changes to her. But get her in regen, get her to 209 speed, get her HP and defense up. She doesn't need resistance. Actually, you kind of want to avoid her having a lot of resistance because she needs to catch the slow that gets thrown out in there. And if she resists the slow twice in a row, then she's going to be out of rhythm again. I think if the slow gets resisted twice in a row, you're going to be in trouble. So you don't want her resisting that. As far as your second set goes, it can be Immortal. Immortal's going to make it a lot easier on you because you're going to heal a little bit more every turn. It gives you the HP bump. It's a very solid second set if you're struggling to hit the threshold that you need. Now, if we take a look real quick, which I might actually need to do a refresh. So let's do a refresh real quick before we pull this up. But I want to show you her effective HP to give you, again, a point of reference. So my Godseeker is at 371,000 effective HP. Before I made all the changes to her, she was at about 309,000 effective HP. And it was still working. My success rate on stage 24 was about 80%. According to RSL Helper, through the course of me running the whole Sand Devil tournament on stage 24, it was about 80%, okay? So that's over the span of quite a few runs. Now she's up to 371. And I'm working on getting that success rate higher in stage 25 because it was a seemed like a coin flip in stage 25 for me for a while. So I'm trying to get that up to where I can do it more reliably, so we can get more of the powder to be able to rework stuff when we want to rework stuff. All right. So that's roughly what you're shooting for. 209 speed, and again 309 was fine. I think like 320 would have probably brought my success rate up in stage 24 significantly. So it doesn't need to be too far beyond that. I'm now at 371, and I think we have a pretty good success rate on stage 25. So just kind of use those as points of reference. All right. If you want to see her total stats, almost 83,000 even HP, 3,600 defense. So you can just again kind of gauge that against your own and figure out where you want to be. I think prior she was at like 73,000 HP and like 3,200 defense before I did all the stuff to her that I've done, and we were still fine. So um, that's it for the sets and the stats and stuff. You can go HP on the banner, you can go HP on the amulet. It's really not too demanding outside of HP defense and speed. All right. She does need to be skilled up, and as far as her masteries are concerned, if you can hit the stats without needing help from Elixir of Life, you can just run her down War Master. That'll help keep the run, a little bit faster. But if you need the help in the support tree, just go all the way down the left side. You want to avoid the stuff that's increasing her turn meter, affecting her cooldowns, giving her speed for dead allies. That's all gonna, again, knock that very sensitive rhythm of the runoff, and it's not gonna be good for you. Now, I would probably go back and not give her this one. I'd probably go back and not give her the counterattack. I feel like that's slowing my run down. She's counterattacking periodically because she takes a big hit. And that time that she spends counterattacking is not doing me any good. It's just eating time. So I would recommend stopping here. Again, if you need the damage mitigation and stuff, this is the way I would go on this tree. And then for the support tree, just straight down to Elixir of Life. But again, if you can hit the stats without needing that, then give her War Master. So that's pretty much it for her, right? The important thing is the speed and the survivability. And then from there, her partner, whoever it's going to be, I am using Ninja actively, but I've played around with some other stuff to kind of experiment for this video, and we'll show off that soon. But basically, for the partner, all you need to keep in mind is that they need to be at, I think it's like 180 speed minimum, and then as far beyond 500 accuracy as you can get them. And the cool thing about this is if this is all you're going to use, whoever you're doing this with, that 500 accuracy might sound daunting, but when you think about the fact that you don't have to do it while also maintaining HP or defense or also maintaining crit stats or maintaining anything else, it's literally 180 speed, which is not that hard to hit, and then 500 accuracy, which is really not so bad. Okay, so for the one that I've been playing around with, let's talk about how to find a part, and then we'll talk about who I've been playing around with. Come into your filter, go into debuffs, go HP burn, and then look around. HP burn's a pretty solid option for who to bring in with Godseeker. The reason Ninja's so good at this because he places burns and detonates them. Right, he's instantly activating HP burns as he's placing them and hitting, which is just speeding up the amount of damage getting output. Somebody like Drang is really good because his HP burn can't be resisted, so you really don't have to worry about anything except the speed on him. But that's if you don't want to use him anywhere else, right? Because you don't want him too tanky. You do need this partner that you bring in with her dying. So Drang is cool for it. And if I remember correctly, there used to be some stuff about him doing it alone, maybe? Because the boss couldn't kill him? But it's been a while. Maybe that's what I was going for. Maybe that's why he's built like this. But he's a good option for a partner in this if you don't want to use him anywhere else and you don't mind him having the low HP so that he dies when necessary. All right. But basically, after you filtered out by HP burn, you're just looking for somebody that can do it reliably. Their cooldown doesn't matter. Nothing else really matters because when Godseeker revives, let's go back to her real quick. One thing you might not be aware of with Godseeker is that when she uses her active revive, it resets the cooldowns. So they come back with 50% turn meter and fresh cooldowns, which means they can continue to use whatever the skill is that you need them to use. So if we filter them back out, again, just looking for somebody. I'm using Wretch. Wretch is the one we're using for the video because he places an HP burn. It's not reliant on a chance to proc. It's not reliant on skill ups. It's not reliant on anything except accuracy. So all I've got to do on this dude, he doesn't have to be 60. He doesn't have to be, well, maybe he needs to be ascended. I can't remember if this is locked until he gets ascended, but either way, that's not too bad. He doesn't have to be 6-starred. Nothing special has to be going on with this guy. He doesn't have to have masteries. He doesn't have to have anything except 180 speed minimum and 500 plus accuracy, which sounds daunting, but if we just click through his gear real quick, we've got a double accuracy there. We've got a 5-star helmet with a single accuracy roll. We've got just accuracy without a roll, single roll, no accuracy chest, and then like nothing crazy, right? Again, it's not hard to hit this accuracy number when you don't have to consider anything else. The 180 speed you'll pretty much get. You'll be more than halfway there with the boots. So if you get a couple of speed subs, you're squared away. So when all you have to care about is accuracy, 500 is not as scary as it sounds. Like if you're trying to build someone for arena or Hydra or something, and it's like I got all these other stats I got to hit. So we do have masteries on him. I have War Master. Again, totally not necessary. And if you need help hitting the accuracy, you can bring him down to Eagle Eye, and that'll alleviate some of that pressure. Again, none of the rest of it matters. Cooldowns, none of it. None of it matters, okay? So he just happens to be 60. I was 6-starring a lot of champs on this account way back in the day, before I started kind of falling out. I think I was treating it almost like a test server account, even after I left the content creator program. So I've got like a lot of uncommons 60'd down here that I like had plans to make some content around because I think some of them can do some pretty cool stuff. So maybe we'll work on getting back into that. Like I think he had I think it was a stun. I think there was something interesting about all of these champs that I have 6-starred down here. So again, maybe we'll get back into that. But today we're gonna talk about Wretch. So we're sort of gonna talk about Wretch. But that's it, right? Hit the speed, hit the accuracy, done. And I think Wretch is a cool example because, one, you're not pulling anybody away from any other content you'd want to use them in. You don't need amazing gear for this, so you're not really wasting any good pieces of gear on him. And he doesn't need anything, right? He doesn't have to be skilled up or nothing because she's going to reset his cooldown. So it's just a straight up HP burn. So what we'll do is I'll very quickly show you how to do it manually up to stage 19 for anybody that is struggling to get to stage 19. But once you're at stage 19, it's just a matter of hitting the right build on Godseeker, and then you can do it on auto, okay? So let's drop down to like stage 16. I'll run it with Wretch. I have a preset made for them just so that I could make sure that when I'm on auto, he does use his HP burn. I assumed that he would anyway, but I figured why risk it? I don't want him to come back to life and use his A2, so I have a preset set for him for that reason. But again, if we tried this on auto under stage 19, it's not going to work. So the way that the fight works is he's going to kill us on the first turn. She's going to auto revive. You're going to manual revive your partner, whoever it may be, and you're going to let your partner do whatever their method of dealing damage is. And then you're pretty much just riding it out until the next auto revive. And the reason that it won't work on auto is because her manual revive, or active revive, I should say, will be off cooldown too soon. So she'll revive her partner right before the big hit. And then the partner's just going to go back down. And then everything kind of starts to fall out of rhythm. And her auto revive potentially starts triggering at the wrong time. And it just starts to get out of whack and it's not going to work. So like right here, I could revive him, but I don't want to do that. And that's why this won't work under stage 19. So we're just going to A1 again. Now she's going to take the big hit and die. So every time she auto revives, you manually revive. Drop your damage, and then just ride it out. You can A2 if you want, if you feel like you need the extra heals. Doesn't matter what you do with him from here on out. And then again, we're just riding the wave and back around until these cooldowns are off. So again, your milestone to keep an eye on is he's going to hit her and kill her. She's going to auto revive. Every single time she auto revives, you manually revive. Do not revive unless she just auto revived, okay? And then that's it. That's how you do the fight all the way through. A little tedious, I know, but you only got to do each stage once, and once you hit 19, you're off to the races because that 209 speed is going to work all the way through stage 25, and you're home free as long as your Godseeker's in good shape. So we're going to jump in and do a run on stage 25 with these two and see what kind of time we're looking at. Obviously, with Ninja, it's like 2 to 2.5 minutes, roughly, depending on like how well you're able to build your Ninja and stuff. But I want to see what we're looking at with somebody like Wretch. So we're not going to sit here and watch the whole run. I'm going to let them do their thing. We'll pop back in at the end of the run and see what kind of time we're looking at, all right? All right, there we go. A 5.5 minute Sand Devil 25 run with Wretch as a member of the team and responsible for the speed, to be honest. Because again, if she did it by herself, it would take a really, really long time. There is one more thing I wanted to note in this. If you are trying to do this and failing, I want to explain what could be happening. So let's start another run real quick. It's going to start off like this. There's a point in the cycle in these higher stages where she's going to take 2 hits in a row. And she might not be surviving the 2 hits. That's really where you're going to learn whether or not you're tanky enough for this, okay? So, 1 hit. Well, that was not a good example. We'll get in in the rhythm in a second. There's a point where it's going to start to sort of like level out, and she's going to start taking 2 hits in a row right before the big hit. And if she can't take those 2 hits, it's going to be a problem. Maybe we needed the slow to go ahead and land. So there's one. It's coming, I promise. It's that, or it's sometimes she'll take that big hit at the wrong. That hit will kill her, right? Sometimes that hit will kill her. I don't know if it crits. It'll either kill her or it'll put her so low that she can't recover enough to survive the 2 hits that are to come later in the rotation. That can be part of the problem. So again, that's where you'll kind of have to watch the run, and if it's failing, figure out, is it a matter of her taking too big of a hit on that A2 sometimes? Is it a matter of her not being able to survive the rounds where she has to take the double hit right here? See how low her health is there? Uh, that can be dictated by like how powerful the hit before it was. A few things, but just keep an eye on that. Another thing is if she starts resisting the slow. I think if she resists the slow 2 times in a row, that's also not good for the run. Um, because again, I think that 209 speed plays into her catching that slow and staying in the rhythm of the whole fight. So those are some things to keep an eye on. I just wanted to give you some notes on like if you're trying this and it's failing, it's probably a survivability issue, or perhaps you've got too much resistance on her. So anyway, that's it. I hope that this was helpful. Maybe it makes you realize that this is a little bit more approachable than perhaps you thought it was, and maybe by the next time another Sand Devil event rolls around that's got Prism Shard summons in it or whatever the hell it's called, if you want to try to go for them, you will be able to do so easily, even if you don't have Ninja. Or perhaps you're using Ninja for something else and he doesn't have enough accuracy and you don't want to rework. And whatever the reason may be, there is almost certainly something in your account that you can pair with her to speed this up to something that makes it fairly reasonable to go after when you feel like you want to go after it. So that's it. I hope it was helpful. If you've got any other tips for the dungeon, maybe you're using somebody interesting that's not Wretch or one of the very popular champs that people use for this, drop them below in the comments. I'd be kind of interested in it, and I'm sure it would help someone else. Other than that, I appreciate you guys watching. I hope it helped, and I'll see y'all later.